working with Paul Heyman, did you ever work closely with Paul Heyman? I mean, because he was the writer of SmackDown, wasn't he, when you were in the M&M tag team? Did you ever work with him when he was purely just talent as a manager for Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, all the time. I met Paulie when I was like 19, probably 20 years old, and I'm the youngest ECW original ever, and I always will be because it's dead. And so, like, I worked for Paul when I was 20. I was on full-time ECW for the last 8 months of its existence. And then I worked with him. Yeah, he was involved with SmackDown. And then when he took over for Jimmy Cornette and OVW, he would come in and write TV, and then I would come in off the road from SmackDown tapings on Tuesday. And on Wednesdays, I would go to the Davis Arena while I was WWE Tag Team Champion and help write TV with Paulie, OVW TV with Paulie when I was like 25 or so. And then I worked with him, geez, man, when he came back to work with Brock in probably 2012 or 13, and worked with him. I was an agent on a lot of Brock's segments, a lot of Brock's matches and pay-per-views. And so I got to work with Paulie closely for a lot of that. So yeah, my experience with Paulie, it goes, spans 3 decades almost. I don't know. Yeah.
What period of time when you were working either for Paul or with Paul did you enjoy them? Did you enjoy Paul's company and working with him the most? So imagine you didn't spend too much time with him in ECW.
Well, too much time. That's hard to say. Like at ECW TV, after the TV taping is when you would do your promos, and you do them for the following weeks and the following shows, and that could be a whole locker room of guys. So by, if I'm as 20 years old and 4 years into the business, or that was my 5th year, I don't know what it was, but like I'm young, I'm the newest guy in ECW, so my promos are going to be last. So then I get to watch Paulie conduct all these interviews and produce all these interviews and promos with different talent. And then if it's like, a real top talent that I'm not familiar with, or it needs to be somewhere else, or it needs to be quiet, I might not be there, but I'll still be in the building and talking to cameramen or talking to somebody else who's not involved with what they're doing right at that minute. So it was a great educational experience. And then to be there at 2 or 3 a.m. and listen to Paulie and listen to his theories and his stories and his teachings were great. And then there was, like I recall one time after a pay-per-view or a big event in New York City, ended up going to Sarge's Deli with Paulie, like way late, like after midnight. And as his assistants, he really loved that place. But like, yeah, just going out to eat with him then. And like, so I spent a good deal of time around him, I'd say. And then all throughout the years, like, since I knew him since I was a kid, like we always got on. Like I saw him a few years ago at airport just passed, and I had been out of the business for a little bit, I think. And just saw him in passing, and he came over like from one restaurant. I came over from like where the train was, and yeah, we embraced. And Paulie's always going to be somebody I have a lot of time for.
With Paulie, I'll ask one more question. Then and we could do 5 hours talking about Paul Heyman, I'm sure, but and this is a very condensed version of your experiences with him. But as far as on-screen talent as a manager, everybody's always got their favourites of managers, and it always depends on what era you grew up in. You could have Jim Cornette, you could have Bobby Heenan, maybe Gary Hart, maybe Captain Lou Albano, etc. For you, where does Paul Heyman rank as far as great managers?
I'd say 7th. I don't know, man. I don't know what the criteria is, like, does he know everything? Yeah. What he doesn't, I mean, he knows a little bit about it. And if not, he can guess the rest. Like, he knows what he's doing and he knows why he does it. And everything is so well thought out. And everything is to get everybody involved as over as it can be. So then fucking high tide rises all ships. So then they all get over. Like, he doesn't get involved with things that aren't going to be successful. He there's different aspects. If you ask me like who was the best at physicality, I would say Jimmy Cornette took a hell of a fucking bump. Jimmy Cornette did great stuff, and it looked like the physicality that Jimmy would be capable of doing and pulling off. It wasn't a stretch. But then Bobby Heenan, he's a guy who was a wrestler before he was a manager. So his physicality was off the charts. If you've seen some of his stuff, you just go the extra mile for a babyface. Instead of taking a punch and rolling off, you take the punch, turn around, take the buckle, take the post between the buckle, and fall out over the top rope and just go crazy. Paul Lee can't do a thing physically. He can't. Sorry. And then he knows he can't do anything physically. So you never see him involved in anything with physicality because he knows he can't. And but as far as like promo and as far as getting his talent over and getting the story and the business over, there's nobody's better. I think he's probably the best. I really do. And the work he's done, it used to be a thing too, like where anybody who gets managed by Paul Lee, once he had the run with Brock, nobody else was going to be able to really get it. You know, I know they tried to deal with Joe Hennig for a while, Curtis Axel, and he's not Brock, you know. And I know he's had a couple other guys. Some of the guys like could talk, so they didn't really need him as much. But to have a run like he had with Brock, it was going to be hard to even duplicate that. And I don't know if he's exceeded it because I don't know the business numbers, but the work he's doing with Roman Reigns is tremendous for me. And watching Roman Reigns is really special to me because I remember on his day one in the business at FCW, and I knew his brother and I know his family, and I coached him from day one. And I remember like on Wednesdays at Dreams promo class, you know, I go out there and sit with him, and I remember always telling him one day they're going to hitch the wagon to you, the entire thing, you know, and to see that I'm right, you know, what a guy, what a man that guy is. And the work he's done with Paul Lee, I think is some of the best stuff I've ever seen or can remember seeing. Just who he's become. He's finally found himself, you know, and the work he's done with his nephews. They're his nephews. They're not his cousins, but the work he's done with his family is exceptional. I think it's the best thing on TV.